The next video in this series will genuinely change how you think about money in sport. But first, let's get to the part I promised you, the part that nobody wants to say out loud. The World Cup is not decided purely on the pitch. Now, I'm not saying every game is fixed. I'm not saying referees are always corrupt. But I am saying that the systems, the incentives, and the history all point to something much messier than pure sporting competition. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with the most famous moment in World Cup history. 1986, Mexico City, Argentina versus England. Diego Maradona scores 2 goals in one game. The first goal, he punches the ball into the net with his left hand. The referee doesn't see it. The goal stands. Argentina wins, goes on to win the entire tournament. Maradona called it the hand of God. He said it was a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. The English were furious. The world was divided. And here's the context that makes it even more loaded. Argentina and England had fought a war just 4 years earlier, the Falklands War. 1982, real soldiers, real deaths, 907 people killed. And now these two nations were meeting on a football pitch, and the deciding goal was scored with a hand. That wasn't just a football moment. That was geopolitics playing out in real time, on grass, in front of 1 billion people. What makes it even more extraordinary is that Maradona scored what is widely considered the greatest individual goal in the history of football in the same game, just minutes later. He picked up the ball in his own half, beat 5 English players, and slotted it past the goalkeeper. FIFA officially named it the goal of the century in a public vote in 2002. So in a single match, the same man scored both the most controversial goal in history and the most celebrated goal in history. That combination has never been repeated. It probably never will be. But the referee's story goes deeper than that, way deeper. In 2002, the World Cup was co-hosted by South Korea and Japan. South Korea had one of the most remarkable runs in tournament history. They beat Spain, they beat Italy, they beat Germany, they finished 4th. Their entire nation was euphoric. But here's what got buried. The referee who oversaw the Spain match, Byron Moreno from Ecuador, was later arrested at JFK Airport trying to smuggle 6 kilograms of heroin into the United States. He served time in prison. The referee who oversaw the Italy match, Gamal Al-Gandour from Egypt, was banned from officiating by FIFA shortly after. Spain had a perfectly good goal disallowed. Italy had 2 goals disallowed in extra time. Were those games fixed? FIFA has never confirmed it. But those referees are not exactly paragons of integrity. And South Korea's run conveniently served the interests of the co-host nation, which had enormous political and commercial incentives to keep the home team deep in the tournament. Draw your own conclusions, but draw them with all the information. That's important, but here's the piece of the puzzle that ties everything together. The piece that explains why none of this ever changes. Money. The World Cup generates more money per event than almost anything else in human history. The 2022 Qatar cycle brought in $7.5 billion in revenue for FIFA. The broadcast rights alone are worth billions. In the United States, Fox Sports paid over $400 million just for the U.S. rights to the 2018 and 2022 tournaments. In the UK, ITV and BBC share rights worth hundreds of millions. In Brazil, the rights cost more than the country's entire annual healthcare budget increase. And here's the thing about that money. FIFA distributes it back to its member associations. Every single one of the 211 members gets a development grant just for being a member. Even San Marino, even the Faroe Islands, even the tiniest, most remote football federation on earth gets a check from FIFA. This is genius because it means every single one of those 211 members has a financial incentive to keep FIFA alive, keep FIFA powerful, and keep voting for whoever keeps the money flowing. It's a perfect loyalty machine. disguised as a sporting organization. And the host nation bidding process? That's where the real action is. Countries don't just apply to host the World Cup. They campaign, they lobby, they build relationships with FIFA voting members over years. They offer gifts, trips, consultancy contracts, infrastructure deals. The 2010 South Africa bid, the 2018 Russia bid, the 2022 Qatar bid, all of them have been investigated for corruption at various levels. Several FIFA officials have admitted to taking payments in exchange for votes. But here's the counterintuitive thing. The corruption, as ugly as it is, has actually spread football to places it never would have gone organically. South Africa 2010 transformed football infrastructure across the African continent. Russia 2018 brought the game to cities like Saransk and Yekaterinburg that had never hosted elite international sport. Qatar 2022, for all its controversies, was watched by an estimated 5 billion people across the Middle East, South Asia, and North Africa, regions where football had always been passion but never pride of place on the world stage. The corruption is real, and the impact is real. Both things are true at the same time. Now let me tell you something that almost nobody knows, and this might be the wildest fact in this entire video. There is a World Cup that happened, and the winner is officially recognized by FIFA, where only 4 teams showed up. The 1930 World Cup, the first one ever, held in Uruguay. FIFA invited all its member nations. Most of Europe refused to come. The journey by boat took 2 weeks each way. It was expensive, it was inconvenient, and many European leagues didn't want to release their players. In the end, only 13 teams participated. 4 of them were from Europe, 9 from the Americas. The entire tournament was played in one city. Uruguay won on home soil, and FIFA declared it the first World Cup champion. But here's the part that gets really strange. Romania's squad was personally selected by King Carol II. He chose the players himself, negotiated with their employers to give them time off, and sent them to Uruguay. The King of Romania handpicked the national football team, and they lost to Uruguay in the semifinals, which, honestly, given the circumstances, is remarkable. Also at that tournament, the United States finished third. The United States, third place, in the first World Cup, in 1930. They haven't come close since. Their best finish after that was reaching the quarterfinals in 2002. The 1930 team is still the greatest American World Cup squad in history, and most American football fans have no idea. What's also almost never mentioned is that the 1930 tournament didn't even have a proper trophy ready in time. The Jules Rimet Trophy, which we'll get to in a moment, was commissioned and completed, but the whole operation was so rushed and underfunded that Uruguay had to build the Estadio Centenario, their main tournament stadium, during the tournament itself. Matches were played at smaller venues while construction continued. The stadium wasn't finished until the group stage was almost over. Workers completed it days before it hosted its first game. Uruguay then played their final matches in a stadium that had been a building site weeks earlier, and won the whole thing. The first World Cup was essentially organized the way most people plan a birthday party, with good intentions, rising panic, and everything somehow coming together at the last minute. Here's another one. The Jules Rimet Trophy, the original World Cup trophy, named after the FIFA president who created the tournament, was stolen. Twice. First in 1966 before the tournament in England. It was on display at a stamp exhibition in London. Someone broke in and took it. The whole country panicked. Scotland Yard launched a massive investigation. 4 months before the tournament, the trophy was missing. Then a dog named Pickles found it, wrapped in newspaper, under a hedge in South London. Pickles the dog became a national hero. He appeared on TV shows. He got fan mail. His owner received a reward. Pickles saved the 1966 World Cup. The trophy was stolen again in 1983, this time in Brazil, where it was being kept permanently after Brazil won it for the 3rd time. it was never recovered. The trophy that Pickles found, that Pele lifted, that Bobby Moore held, is gone, melted down most likely. The current trophy, the one you see today, is a completely different design, introduced in 1974. And under FIFA rules, no team can ever keep it permanently. It stays with FIFA. Teams get a gold-plated replica. You never actually own the World Cup. You just borrow it. Which, when you think about it, is a pretty good metaphor for the whole thing. The World Cup doesn't belong to the fans. It doesn't belong to the players. It doesn't belong to the host nations. It belongs to a 211-member Swiss nonprofit that has more countries than the United Nations, generates billions of dollars per cycle, and has survived multiple federal criminal investigations without missing a single tournament. That's the machine. That's what you're actually watching when you watch the World Cup. And here's the thing. Knowing all of this doesn't make it less exciting. If anything, it makes it more. Because now when you watch a match, you're not just watching 22 players chase a ball. You're watching the intersection of geopolitics, economics, corruption, national identity, and genuine human athletic brilliance all collide in real time. You're watching the most complicated show on earth. The qualification system is rigged by geography. FIFA is a non-profit that generates billions. The host selection process has been corrupt for decades. Referees have gone to prison. The original trophy was found by a dog and later melted down. The United States was once the third best team in the world. A king personally selected his country's squad and sent them across the ocean on a 2-week boat journey. Workers built billion-dollar stadiums under a legal system that made it nearly impossible for them to leave. And the whole operation runs out of Zurich, tax-free, under laws designed for local sports clubs. Every single one of those things is real, documented, official history. If this video rewired how you think about the World Cup even a little bit, share it with one person who's about to watch a match. Not because I'm asking you to, but because their reaction when they find out about Pickles the dog will be worth it. And if you want to go even deeper, the next video covers how football transfers actually work, and the numbers involved will make the World Cup corruption look like a parking ticket. It's linked right now. Go watch it. The World Cup is the greatest show on earth. Now you know why.